Today, I'm going to open up a little bit more about your inner security. Hear me out. This is one of my favorite questions to ask, and I think this question helps lead you into the direction of today's podcast. Where is everywhere that your insecurities are showing you exactly where you can be in security? Because in this thing of life, what would it be like to be so secure with yourself you have nothing but confidence? And actually, your insecurities are where you need to look. Your insecurities, the things that you think about yourself, that you kind of put yourself down. Maybe you're not strong enough, or you're not good at a certain skill set, or you're not a good cook, whatever it is. That insecurity is where you go and you dive into to find the inner security. See? Because your insecurities show you the way that your neuroplasticity has developed a certain pattern, a way of thinking. And a lot of times people want to avoid the insecurities, right? You want to, oh no, if I don't see it, it's not there. So if I just don't cook, I won't have to face the fact that I can't boil water. Your insecurities are literally the pathway to finding the inner security of confidence. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fun? Doesn't it show you that there's a malleability in the way that you're thinking? And when we have this word called insecurity, and we have this word called confidence, what comes up for you when I say those words? You have such a unique experience in this life, and you have such a unique history or her story and things that you've been through that have navigated your life in a certain way to bring you to the specific mindset that you have. But what I want to hone in on in Mind Your Lens, the podcast, the NLP experience, is that neural pathway serving you? Is the way you're thinking supporting you? Or if you are so caught up in your insecurities, are you not giving yourself a chance to grow and glow? Confidence is a funky thing, right? When it comes to the word confidence, what do you think of? Is it a behavior? Is it a mindset? Is it a skill set? Is it another person because you don't have any? And if you are thinking about somebody that does have confidence, what are they doing that embodies that? What are they doing that is showing you an example of confidence? Maybe it's someone who's not afraid to speak up, or someone who looks in the mirror and says, wow, I look great today. I look great every day. What are the traits that you notice that are within confident people that you don't think you have? Confidence is just a word. It's the examples and the permissions you give yourself that will actually fulfill your confidence. And it's not a fake it till you make it kind of thing. In a way, though, you get to guide your brain in a new trajectory. If you come from a life of insecurities where you're afraid to stick up for yourself, you're afraid to speak in front of other people, you're just holding yourself back in a lot of ways. You don't think that you look good enough. And so when you walk outside, you just exude that insecurity. Here's your chance. Because the confidence that you can grow is by believing that you can grow confidence. And the only way that you're going to grow confidence is by believing that you can grow confidence. Confidence is a skill set. And it's also something that no one knows if you really have it or not. You know what I think is so fascinating? One of the biggest compliments I get, and I'm so grateful for this, right? People say that I'm inspiring by the way I live my life and that I speak with confidence. Guess what? I made it up. Not that it's not true, but I made it up. I didn't have it. And then I decided, what would it be like? to just be okay with myself and be okay with who I am and what I want to present to this world. And then you feed those little seeds and you hydrate and you nourish the thoughts. And then you bring that out into the world. So even if I'm not, and hear me out, even if I'm not feeling confident, if I go into a space where I want to exude confidence, I can bypass the feeling of insecurity and exude confidence anyways. And it's not fake and it is made up, right? Because you can find it in the moment. You can find those times where you're thinking about the way you look and you're hiding yourself from the world. And you can just turn that off. Just like I have to turn off my cell phone ringing right now. You can just turn it off. And you can allow your mind to go into a different way of being. And right, I define myself as being introverted. So when I'm going into a situation where it would actually be more helpful to be extroverted, I just ask myself, what would the confident extroverted Aubrey do? And then I do those things. These are the hacks of neuroplasticity training, of neurolinguistic programming. These are the ways to start to step into somebody completely new, to break the habit of being that old self. And I want to talk more about confidence and quantum, what I call quantum leaping today, in a sense of being and the way that we're defining our world and our mind. One of the presuppositions of NLP, which presuppositions are linguistic assumptions, so they're kind of like the rules of NLP. I know yoga has the yamas and the niyamas, the ways of being, so in a very similar sense. NLP has one that says you are in charge of your mind and therefore you are in charge of your results. You might not be in charge of all the happenings of objective reality that you experience, but you are in charge of how you make sense of them and how you make sense of yourself. But of course, this comes with a lot of reparenting yourself. If you did not have people there when you were younger boosting up your confidence, if you didn't have that, you've literally had to make it from nothing. If you didn't have people that showed you, oh, you can be really confident, or you're beautiful, parents that really fed into that side of you, then you get to develop this skill from zilch, nothing. And although confronting, congratulations, because you now see the way forward. I love my family. I do. I think there is a lot of good qualities within my family and the way that they love quality time and being in the same room. But I think there is a fundamental flaw in the ancestral path of words to the kids. And I see this in my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, but I call it ball busting. So instead of support in a positive affirmation way, the support is about making fun of you. So when I was younger, I got made fun of for having big feet or a big nose, or, I picked up a guitar and they're like, oh, you're not going to be Beyonce. It's like, okay. And if I look back at it now, I'm like, why would this be a way of raising a young girl? But I see it now that they didn't even get those affirmations. So how would they know to pass on positive affirmations of instilling confidence into the young generation if they didn't have it? I don't know. Part of me says common sense, but I'm going to release that part of me and that bitterness and just understand that the ball busting that I grew up with was actually my path to the confidence that I have now. And I know to not pass any of those old patterns moving forward. I'm really grateful for that opportunity. So what would it be like to step into your most confident self? And there's a difference here between self-confidence and self-esteem. And I think you get to handle them differently. One of them is more about your behavior. So self-confidence is being good at a skill set. Like I can be confident that I can make certain meals, or I can bowl a strike, or I can run a mile. Like, I can have confidence in the skill set of things. And that's what I have, is a lot of confidence in my natural ability to do a lot of different things. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is the root of who you think you are, of how good enough of a person you think you are, of how worthy of a person you think you are. So it's not only enough to look at yourself and your habits and what you do and feed positive thoughts into those areas. You also need to face the root of your being and acknowledge who you are as a person and how to feed into your self-esteem. Even if you had other people when you were younger that were ball busters and told you otherwise. So growing your self-confidence, growing your self-esteem, this will be linked into every aspect of your life. If you are a confident person, you will walk differently. You will talk differently. You will live a different experience. You will give yourself more happiness, joy, fulfillment. You will handle your relationships different. You will find more security in your relationships, because if you're a confident person, you create a layer of independence around yourself that knows that other people can come and go sometimes, but you can stay strong in who you are and what you're bringing to the world. Everything will get better if you have more confidence. I'm a success coach for Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. I've been a life coach for over a decade. I've worked with a lot of people, thousands of people at this point. And I think this is one of the most fundamental things that hold people back. Well, I don't feel like I'm good at new technologies. I don't feel like I can go in front of a group of people and speak. What's holding you back? And that's what one of my favorite questions as well is, what prevents you? What prevents you from doing the hard thing? What prevents you from doing the fearful or the fearful thing or the thing you're scared of? Oftentimes it's your brain. A hesitancy, because you feel that you are coming from a space of lack, of not being good enough or strong enough or with enough of the acquired skill set. So what would it be like to change those thoughts and to reaffirm yourself from the core of your being that you are amazing, you are worth it, you are so lovable, and you are so confident in who you are? Might take some time. It depends on where you're coming from, but you can really feed into these ideas day in and day out. Because you don't want to hold yourself back anymore, more than you maybe already have. You don't want to be the one that's in the way of your own goals. Because there are people out there doing worse work than you, but they are successful because they are confident. And you, with all of your brilliance, are waiting for the perfect moment. You're getting ready to get ready. You're waiting until you feel ready. But remember, ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. I love that one. I think that one's great. So you have to go into these subconscious beliefs. Your subconscious beliefs are going to be the ones that are underlying the direction of your entire system. So going into your subconscious beliefs means diving into what these deep-rooted thoughts about insecurity are. I think one of the pervasive subconscious beliefs when it comes to insecurities is the idea that things cancel out. Let's say you are in a room, you're feeling good, you put your new outfit on, you've been to the gym a couple times, and then all of a sudden, this like bombshell of a human being walks in the room, and you start discrediting yourself. You say, oh, well, I don't look like them. I'm not as in shape as they are. I'm not as pretty as they are. I'm not as good looking as they are. And you start to diminish and invalidate yourself without realizing it. This messes up your self-esteem. This messes up your self-confidence because you think that because someone else shines in a certain way that that means you shine less. That is where the fallacy is. Just because someone shines in their own way does not mean you shine any less. You shine in your own way. And if you think you're hot and you're looking hot and someone else hot walks into the room, there can be two hot people in the same room. You cannot undermine and discredit yourself just because someone else is in their own expression of being. Whew. But that means you get to face yourself. That means you get to build this way of being that is confident in what you have. And even if you don't have the most symmetrical face or standard, society and Hollywood's version of whatever it is, that doesn't mean that you can't make yourself have the it factor by absolutely believing in yourself. Your confidence will make you more appealing, more attractive, more intriguing than any way that you look. And when you relax into that, and you stop trying to force yourself to look a different way or be a different way, you can let go and release the insecurities that are getting in the way. As a woman, when was it? When I was really young, you start to get pushed these 90s magazines of fashion and limited to, and this is what you should wear because this is the style that's in. And I used to have a lot of trouble with those things because I didn't really ever have the fashionista kind of mindset. I was always focusing on school and sports. And then you get into junior high and people start wearing makeup and you're like, oh, this is what I should do. And then, maybe straighten your hair. Okay, this is my hair. And I straightened my hair in high school. Why? I don't know, because it wasn't super duper straight. It was so fascinating. So there's a lot of these societal pressures that can be pushed upon us unconsciously, and we can keep repeating those patterns and those behaviors even if we don't truly want to do it. And I used to dye my hair really bleach blonde, and there came a point in my 20s where I had that huge epiphany. I was like, why am I dyeing my hair bleach blonde? It's already blonde. And I have like highlights from the sun in the front. But why am I doing this? Because I didn't think I was good enough without it. So I was like, well, I need to get rid of this, And then I was wearing makeup to the gym, and you need to learn how to accept yourself fully. So I remember I washed my face and I started wearing no makeup to the gym. Oh, how freeing it is. And I'm not saying the makeup's the problem. I like wearing makeup now. I wear it when I want that extra little touch. But it is the subconscious need for why you're putting on the makeup. That's what matters. And if you're okay without it and you can accept and love yourself freely, then I think utilizing makeup is a healthy pattern because you're doing it for fun, not because you think you only look good with the makeup. What does that mean then to feed into the confidence of knowing that no matter where you go, you can shine light from within and you can embody a sense of who you are and the confidence that you want? I think it is very much a present moment practice. NLP, neuroplasticity training, because sometimes you don't know where your brain's going until it's already gone there. And you hear those silly thoughts and you hear that monkey mind running, and then you say, oh, that was a insecure thought. That's strange. I wonder why I did that. What thought would be better in that situation? And when you give yourself the reframes and you ask yourself questions like, what thought would be better? Then you start to feed into the new neuroplasticity training and you start to feed into that new, better thought. Easy peasy, right? So if your brain's not holding space for enough of this, and your brain is constantly attacking yourself, diminishing yourself, you're not going to see the changes. But the moment that you start opening up to the idea that this thing called confidence is a made-up skill set, some people were granted the environment of upbringing that fed confidence. A lot of people were not. And the skill set comes from looking at yourself in the mirror and appreciating who you are, going out into the wild and saying, I can do this. I am making space for myself, and it is okay. Oh, I had a great coaching session this week, and my client said, I'm learning that I don't have to put myself last. I'm learning that it's okay if I put myself first. Which for some people, it's like, yeah, duh. But for somebody who's lived a people-pleasing life and behavior and put other people on pedestals before themselves, this can be a groundbreaking, life transformative experience. So just double checking that you're not doing that, putting yourself last, that you are bringing yourself further up the line and paying attention to what your needs are, what your wants are, and taking care of yourself. I think taking care of yourself is a huge means for confidence. If you're eating better, if you're moving your body, you don't need to be like hitting the gym every day. I'm a huge advocate for balance because I need that within myself and my own life. If you're taking care of yourself, you'll start to feel better. You'll know that you're looking better. You know that you're not destroying your gut or being, self-sabotaging and doing these habits that are ultimately against what you want. You'll naturally get more confident when you start giving yourself the opportunity to change for the better in the direction that you want. And here's the thing too. I really like when you can see and observe what someone else is doing, and you can borrow that and you can model whatever they are doing and plant it into your way of being. Try it on. If somebody has a characteristic that you're interested in, so for example, I've always been intelligent, but I wasn't really animated. I wasn't really like rah animated when I was younger. And I saw one of my friends and I'm like, wow, she's so fun. She's crazy. How do I be animated, but just a little less than her? And I took that word upon myself and I'm like, let me be a little more animated. So then I started teaching fitness classes and I would just yell like, woohoo, let's go. And I found this space within me that I redeem as animation, and I added it to my personality trait. And you can do that. So when people are confident, ask yourself, what about what they're doing makes you assume that's confidence? And then do that. And it can add to your confidence. So you're not only making up the skill set from nothing, you're also modeling what you think is working for other people. And you're borrowing it and you're trying it on. And it probably works. Because your confidence is not about the way you look. Your confidence is about the value you place upon yourself. And if you devalue yourself, if you undermine yourself, and if you're constantly discrediting yourself for the work that you actually do, you're not reaching the value. You're not reaching the confidence that you could if you just give yourself a little more credit. Pat yourself on the back. I do that all the time with my clients. I say, take your hand. Now take this hand and pat yourself on the back. Yes. And give yourself acknowledgement for everything that you have done. In fact, before you dive into your task list, before you make your list of goals, make a list of acknowledgements for the way you feel good about yourself. Not just because of what you've done, right? We don't want to hyperanalyze our behaviors to only say we are more if we do more. You don't want to get so attached to overachieving because you identify overachieving with being confident. You want to give yourself a high enough value without doing anything because of who you are, and acknowledge yourself for that. And then if you accomplish goals and you go do the workout or you do the work thing, you can add to that confidence and add to those layers. No one else is like you. No one else. You are uniquely you. Therefore, there is no competition. I'll talk about this more in a minute. So how can you embody who you are in such an authentic way and understand that you bring an energy to this world? You bring an embodiment to this world that is so needed because you're here. And in that, you now give to your relationships in a different way, because you don't go to your relationships because you're needing validation or you're needing codependency or patterns or anything like that. You show up in your relationships with a secure attachment because you have honed in your energy. You've honed in the way that you feel about yourself, so that even if no one else is around, you can internally validate yourself. I'm not saying that external validation is bad. In NLP, we have these things called meta programs, and some people, they don't need external validation at all. Cool. I like people, I have a lot of internal validation, but I'm an internal with an external check. So I create internal validation and I appreciate an external check. So if I teach a class, I'll go to my moderator and I'll say, how was that? Because I know I did good. At least I did okay. No matter what, I think I could show up okay. Sometimes I'm like, yes, I was on fire. Sometimes I'm like, that was okay. And I'll ask for that external check. So external validation isn't bad. And I'm tired of the self-development programming stuff out there, that the propaganda that says you don't need external validation at all. Yeah, you don't need it, but we know it's nice. We know it's nice to have external validation and have someone there that's cheering us on. We don't need it. That's the important part. So in all of this, to relay to the next topic of quantum leaping. Quantum leaping, to me, this is, and I know nothing about quantum physics, so the way I'm talking about quantum leaping is in a neurological way, not in a quantum physics double split experience. But my understanding of that, the experiment, the double slit experiment, is that something can be both a particle and a wave depending upon if somebody's looking at it. So the idea is that how we perceive life really changes our life to a quantum way. A quantum leap in your life is this, like with this thing called confidence, when you finally let go of your insecurities and you now move through the world in a different way. You have leapt into a new kind of experience. Quantum leaping to me is when you change your mind, and it could just be one thought. One thought can make an entire life different. And so what's the one thought that you need to have, or that you could have, to make that quantum leap? And a quantum leap will shift your entire reality because of what you're deciding in the moment. So, for example, a quantum leap is a breakthrough, right? It's a big breakthrough. It's a giant stride forward in your way of being. It's a radical change. It's something that once you've been awakened to, you can never be the same again. So what's available to you right now that needs to have that big of a change? One of the biggest quantum leaps of them all is the realization that everyone lives a different subjective experience, that everyone has their own model of the world. And when you hone in on that idea, I think you gain a lot more empathy and a lot more compassion, because you not only look at people from what they do, but you ask yourself, well, what kind of model of the world would create that kind of behavior? And what could that person have gone through to now output this behavior. And when you realize that everyone has an entirely different world, you also get to let go of all the projections that are placed upon you. And you stand in your ground and you say, oh, this is what I'm deciding, because that person, they're telling me this advice. And it's not that I need to follow that advice. In fact, if somebody's not living the life that you want to live or that you'd like to live, most of the time their advice is not going to be relevant to your trajectory because they're not the one on your trajectory. Oh, what a relief. What a relief. You can just let go of all of that, the projections placed upon you. You also can let go of all the person that you used to be if you don't want to relate to that anymore. I really, there's a quote that I really appreciate, and it's kind of serious in a way, because I think a lot of times when people are very depressed, they come to really, really depressed. They come to that point of do I still want to be here anymore? And I saw this one quote when I was really sad, when I was in my teenage years. And it said something along the lines of, I knew I wanted to die, but that didn't mean that I had to stop living. I just needed to let the part of me that doesn't want to live anymore die. I was like, oh, how good is that? That we can have this idea of different parts of us, that we can de-layer ourselves from, that we can shed the skin of these things that are not supportive to our system, and the parts that need to die off can die off. And oftentimes it's in the fitness industry, I think it's called atrophy, like when a muscle atrophies. So if there's a really big part of you that you don't want to hold on to anymore and that needs to die off, atrophy means the less you use it, you'll lose it. So when you stop feeding into those brain centers that are depleting you, devaluing you, and pushing yourself down, you start to build up the ones that keep you going forward. And it's so beautiful, right? That would be a quantum leap. Or people that have been through addictions or experiences of behaviors that they really weren't proud of, you can release all of this and move forward into a new way of being. And oftentimes you do need support and help and guidance and feedback and systems and structures and classes, maybe, whatever it is, whatever you need to find that support to move forward, to shift your mind. It's possible. There's something in NLP that we call deframing. Deframing is a really interesting quantum leapy idea, because deframing is, okay, you have this frame of reality. You have this way of seeing a certain thing, and it has a frame. And then it deframes. And what I mean by this is, I think in a very specific example to myself, maybe because of sports, because I grew up in the 90s with all the magazines, I always thought there was this competition with other women. There was just competition. And then in the fitness industry, I was like, I just need to be the strongest woman in the room, whatever it was. But just like that, in a moment, I went through one experience when I realized, oh, there is no competition. There is no competition. Deframe. Oh, so that means I'm going to shift the way that I'm moving through the world. What you thought was reality was actually just the way you were thinking. What you thought was the very definition of who you are was actually just your perception of who you are. And that is malleable. And you can change who you are, who you be, by acting differently, by defining yourself differently, by making new decisions about who you are and what you stand for. Oh, what a relief. What a relief that you can gift yourself more confidence, that you can gift yourself more self-esteem, more worthiness. By doing that, by gifting yourself those things, by walking around knowing that your insecurities are actually the pathway for you being in security. I'm really grateful for the process of confidence, and I'm really happy that I can find this place in myself to exude confidence, both on podcasts, when I'm speaking, I'm just walking about in life. And it comes from how you present yourself and how you think about yourself. So, in conclusion, get out there and appreciate yourself and know that you are capable, strong, and can move forward. And know that you are confident, aren't you? All right. Thank you for listening in today. Thank you for being you. I'm so glad you are. And I'll see you soon.